first thing, Laura, we should talk about is that due to the pandemic that you mentioned, we now have a change in format for fall split. The major has been modified that it will not be one major across regions. It will be replaced with 4 regions. This, I guess you could say, it doesn't come as a surprise. Rocket League did something similar last season as well. But here we are, another major change in the structure of Rocket League. What can we really say about it?
I think initially it's a pretty good response from Psyonix. I mean, there's only so much you can do, right? And I think this is the appropriate one. You're giving not only just the ability for these guys to still compete, but they extend it out a little bit and fully fledge it out over the course of not only multiple weeks, but OCE is actually back-to-back. For OCE, they do both, I think it's like Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, Friday. But other than that, it's like the teams play on a Wednesday, and then they play the following week on a Wednesday, same thing. So you get to see and have that exposure to every single team, which is what I know for the other regions like OC and SAM are really happy about, is the capabilities for people to ultimately get their names out on the main broadcast, which they normally don't get. So I know a lot of guys are happy about that. Obviously, prize pool is being extended, 100K for the major regions, and then OC and SAM are 25K. But I think response-wise from Psyonix, it's the best way to handle it. I don't think there's really any alternatives without trying to spend a metric boatload of money on like a bubble and doing stuff like LCS and Overwatch and all those guys. So for what it is and for short term, I think they didn't really provide any details about how many teams and this and that for this reason. They're just trying to see like when the time came to be, what are we going to do in a response to opening it up? So I think it's a good response. I think it's the best option for what the circumstance is. But it still makes me miss international play. I mean, fabled L word of LAN. Anytime somebody says it, just makes me sad now. So I want to see these guys compete. It's been a long time since we've gotten to, but again, there's not a whole lot we can do. So trying to make matters the best of the capability that we have. So
what about from the coaching perspective, Chrome? Like, I know in some esports, like I'll use League of Legends as an example. In particular, North American teams take great value in playing international teams simply because there is such a gap and they learn so much. Like, does that factor in much here? Do you want your players to be playing other regions as much as possible?
Oh, of course. We get to actually like test to see like how we can play against other regions, because every region plays different in my opinion. As well as the LAN experience. I feel like playing on LAN is a different game in my opinion. Like compared to online, like you're playing on a different setup, different atmosphere, and then you got to be able to put it all together and try to win against the best in the world. And it's not an easy thing to do, especially like some players play better on LAN compared to online. So yeah, for sure.
What about you, Jahzo? What do you think?
I think that the lack of international LANs is really hyping up what I think could be the most intense matchup between regions like we've ever seen. And I know us specifically, we always like Rob just said, testing our play style against teams we don't play often, and that means playing teams in SAM, OCE, EU, and we don't have the opportunity. So it's kind of hitting us. Obviously, all of the actual LAN benefits of seeing everybody you work with on a daily basis, but competitively, we are lacking a little bit of that extra dimension of Rocket League play. But we're making up for it in the fact that we can scrim so many different teams because of how many different options of teams we have to play in these regionals, in these grid days, because of how many actual matches we're playing. So it's kind of a balance. We don't get to play the EU playstyles, but we are definitely differentiating who we're playing in our home region. And I think that's making, I know in NA, I think it's making a lot of teams stronger here too, because teams are playing opponents they wouldn't normally expect to play. So it's definitely good for the scene, but also bad because we're waiting so long for this esteemed region versus region matchup that I know everyone looks forward to every single year, world's hypest event of the year. So
it's going to be even more hype now, right? Like, because of such a long delay, and since we haven't seen it in such contrast, like, not only are you guys playing, and all the teams are getting significantly better at a faster rate because of how much Rocket League's being played. When we finally do get to play on that LAN environment, it's gonna be insanity. Like, I'm so excited for that moment.
Yeah.
And I know obviously the guys over on the RLCS broadcast, like Gibbs and Leaf and them, are gonna really hype it up. So I'm really looking forward to that moment whenever it does. I have expectations that the guys here at ESPN Esports will find some way to cover it. So I think it's gonna be a really cool just event overall when that happens. And I guess that's like the one thing we have to hold on to when it happens, whenever that may be. It's gonna be awesome. So just kind of waiting for that moment, because I know Whether you're a player, coach, whatever it is, or just a fan, you want to attend that. I think Dallas would have been a really cool event for that reason too, especially with the competition that would have been there. But
Yeah.
again, we're just kind of holding out.
Lawler, over under on how many times we see Leafs sequin pillow on that broadcast?
Hopefully negative. I hope he leaves it at home so we don't even have to worry about it. But I don't know. Maybe him and Turtle will both bring theirs, or maybe the whole broadcast team will have a sequin pillow by that point with Gibbs. I just don't know if there's that many pictures of Gibbs out there, so like they're gonna have to like
Well, it's
reuse
the
some of
same
that content.
Gibbs picture. It's just the dab, like over and over and over again.